Hello, boys and girls. Timo from EAV Rudio here, and I have the wonderful pleasure of sitting down with Flying Raccoon Suit before they play a show here in Atlanta. So thank you guys for agreeing to talk to me.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
So first question, guys. Who do you think you are?
I am the bowling guy. No? Okay.
I know everything.
A Highlander?
That's what you got from that?
I thought you said, okay.
Whatever you think you are, I am, is what he said, or some shit.
So it was like a gloat thing, like he made the strike and won the game, just like, who do you think you are? I am. It was just
everyone just politely.
It was great. It was wonderful. Anyway.
That's us, I think. We're going to go with that answer.
That is an amazing answer. I'm going to have to work on that for a long time. Question for this tour. I know this is the first show on a tour. Pie Tasters, Mustard Plug, you guys. Two bands that have been around for a long time, and you guys one of the newer ones. How did you guys get hooked up with this tour?
I think we've kind of gotten close to some of the Mustard Plug guys, and I guess some of the Pie Tasters guys just at different times. I filled in for them on trombone at Supernova. You've sang with them.
Yeah, and definitely meeting up with them at Fest. That got us all together talking and became friends.
Yeah, we're kind of friends that way, so this package is great.
Yeah.
Well, I always think it's good to have some of those. I mean, I'm old. I was listening to these guys when they were new. So I think it's always good to have you guys like this on a tour because you guys are a great up-and-coming band. I play you all the time, and I've got your stuff, and I just think it helps us old people learn the new bands, and then the young people can go, who are these old people up there? And they get to find out those old bands while they look at me standing in the back as the old man. So you guys are a ska or definitely ska-adjacent band. Mm-hmm. One, and this could have different answers for all of you, how did you get into that type of music, wanting to play that type of music, and what do you enjoy about specifically playing that type of music?
I got into it because of this band. When I was in high school, Flying Raccoon Suit was just starting, and I was in like adjacent like grunge metal bands and stuff like that, and had no idea what ska was, and then played a show with Flying Raccoon Suit, and Andy and I joined another band that was like an indie project, and eventually just kind of joined Flying Raccoon Suit as the drummer and producer and stuff, and just kind of learning through the genre through like mostly like the new tune bands and just kind of the upcoming scene. So like it's cool now to dive back and see like the 90s bigger bands still going and being active and stuff, and fall in love with them too. And
it's okay, you can say old bands. I'm old.
No,
I
would never. But I mean, my favorite thing is just the community behind the ska scene and everything. It's so like wholesome and like-minded. I love it. Yeah.
Me and Jessica came from different paths, discovering ska when we weren't in a band together, and I was like a young horn player, and I think I got like a Warped Tour DVD that had Mad Caddies on it, and I was like, oh shit, you can do this and be a horn player, and I didn't know what ska was, and went from there. And
yeah, I was like a sad little kid, and just trying to find like my music. You know, when you discover music when you're like 12, 13, that's like when you find what you're gonna like for the rest of your life, pretty much. And you know, No Doubt was on the radio, of course, and I really liked Alanis Morissette. I liked, Jewel, Mazzy Star, so I like to put all of those into ska. And me and Andy in high school fell in love with MU330, and that we basically took all of our little interests, like our little random interests like that, and tried to put them together. The MU330 horns with the other.
Yeah, and Guillermo's been in it since the beginning too.
Yeah, mine was essentially like rediscovering things I had like heard here and there in my childhood that I didn't realize, because you're young, you're a kid, you don't really know the world. So it's like, oh, Kablam, that was the Toasters doing the theme song. Oh, Real Big Fish was doing like Monkey Man in the Wild Thornberrys movie. Then I get older, join like concert band, marching band, did it with Andy like so goddamn long. And especially like Streetlight Manifesto like sunk their teeth into me, and that like really got me into like just that kind of style. So when we were all just kind of bored hanging out together, wanted even more reasons to like spend time with each other, because that's really what that was, just that you guys want to hang out but pretend to be productive. So band got started, Scott was like the natural choice, since all of us, it gave like an opportunity for everybody to be part of it. But then it just somehow kept going, and well, here we are.
And then you couldn't get out of it, and you're like, well, no, it's just a nice place to be. I guess I'm okay here.
It's we were joking just today. It's like, man, remember we were doing that little crappy beach show for our first thing, and now we're kind of staring at like a nice stage with a little banner of us behind it. It's
yeah,
like,
when we were a garage band of teenagers learning our instruments, and now we're like at the Masquerade, and we played Supernova and Fest, and we're like us hanging out with friends and just having fun has led to this. Because even we sucked, but we kept doing it because we loved it. Now,
at no point in 2008 we were like, do you guys want to like
suck less?
Do you guys want to like play in Toronto one day? It's like, I don't know.
I met Curly when I was 12. I met Andy when I was 14, and then now
it's crazy how we're here.
Way older than that.
Yeah,
way.
I say way, but I'm not with like maybe like 2 Y's.
Yeah.
Way.
One thing that you had pointed out was you just love the togetherness of the ska scene. We can talk about that more, or is there anything taking that further, or anything else just about the whole scene in general that really, really you think attracts you and other people to it?
It's very welcoming, which I mean it plays into the other thing, but most of us have played all kinds of music. I've been in indie rock bands, like brass bands, funk bands, like cover bands and stuff, and there's never a sense of community. Like it can almost be like kind of competitive and like a better than you sort of attitude in some of these genres, but I've never really felt that playing ska and stuff like that. It's always super welcoming, like people excited for your success, you excited for other people's success, and everybody hyping everybody, which doesn't happen often or always.
It is business, but it doesn't feel like business. Like we all have actually become friends.
It's all like everyone like sticking kind of the neck out for each other. Like if you can't even do a show, there's so many times they'll be like, oh, but I know exactly who you should like bring on, and they'll like name this band, this band, this band. So it's always trying to look for opportunities for yourself, but you're also looking out for opportunities for the people that you've come to know and come to enjoy.
Basically all take care of each other.
And see, these are things that I've always assumed, but since I'm not in a band, I just have to assume it. When I say it, it doesn't count, but it's good to hear it from you guys. Also, again, as you know, you're one of the more up-and-coming successful bands, which means you're in the middle of all this right now, and talking about it really shows that it is an awesome community, and I'm happy to hear that I've been supporting something this long that is that good.
It's also like the versatility, like Andy was saying, like all these different genres felt different, but in ska, like you can blend and take from any genre. Well, like, that's what we do. Literally, is like our secret sauce. Is we just like don't shy away from any genre or anything, and just mix it with ska and make it our own.
Yeah.
I've had people like at work or like family, other friends ask, "What kind of music do you play?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's common."
Well, no, that was actually a question I often ask. I don't always, but I was getting there with the direction we were going. You run into somebody who has no idea what the hell ska is. Like, so what kind of music do you play? How do you explain it to them in a way that they'll be like, maybe, they're not going to be like, oh my God, yes, but how do you explain it? We're like, I want to come and check that out.
My favorite story is like a former boss once asked me, because at my current job, they knew I was in a band, but they didn't really know much about it. He just asked me, Guillermo, it never occurred to me to ask, what kind of music does your band play? And I said, it's called ska punk. He said, no, not the name of your band, the kind of music. And I was silent for a couple seconds and went, ska punk.
I've done the cheater punk with horns that we've all done whenever I'm not trying to have a quick conversation.
And as much as I love our band name, I always feel this weird sense of like, oh God, I have to explain this to like some old like how do we do this?
Yeah, it's the reference doesn't always land. And also a lot of people spell raccoon with one C, which hurts us for like flyers and people tagging us and stuff or like trying to find us. Because it's
I was guilty of that at first, but then I figured out why I wasn't actually hooking up with you guys. I'm like, there's 2 C's. So look, man, we all have to learn from our mistakes.
Somebody told us. Well, I looked it up. Like, there's a UK spelling of raccoon that has 1 C, and there's bands over there called like Boom Boom Raccoon and stuff with 1 C to even further confuse the matter. So, both are accepted in places within our band name.
When we got to the green room door and we saw there were 2 C's on raccoon, I felt so blessed. I was like, there we go, validity.
Yeah,
we made it.
We've done it.
They checked.
So we still don't have a really good answer for that. To be honest, I've never really gotten a good answer from most bands on how you explain it.
Right. It's it depends on how much time you want to spend talking to folks. Because I mean, And also even music with horns, sometimes that's a make or break for people. Some people love it, some people aren't, too into it. So.
I
we kind of have a
story
little
about
of
this.
it.
Yeah.
The other day at work, this guy asked me, which I work at a country club, and he asked me, he was like, oh my god, I blacked out on the story. Holy shit, I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
My anxiety.
We'll come back to it or we won't. All good.
We
All
kind of have a
good.
little advantage in where we're from. I mean, most of us were like right adjacent to New Orleans. We even have a member from New Orleans. So when we mentioned the horns, that they have like an image in their mind, especially like Mardi Gras, that sort of thing. So even when it's like not something they initially understand, they're like, oh, so it's okay. I kind of get what you're talking about. It's like, yeah, and I promise whatever picture they have in their minds is still probably a little ways off, but it's at least a little easier.
It's closer.
Into that sort of thing. And of course, I get the whole like, oh, like 2564, so you're like Chicago. It's like,
That's
okay, let's segue back to Jessica.
That was my story. It was that I was at the country club and somebody heard I was in a band and he was like, well, what kind of music do you play? What instruments? And I said, well, we have a horn section, all this. And he was like, oh, like Chicago. I love that band.
Not a bad band, but
Right.
I mean, I thought it was interesting because, I usually get, I don't know, other references. I thought that one was funny, interesting.
Yeah.
I always try, just for future reference, if you want to use this one, I always try and say, picture any music you want, even really depressing music, but you play it in a way that makes you happy and dance. Even about really sad shit, you want to dance.
That's fair.
That's really
Another little cheat answer sometimes we do is like, you remember America's Funniest Home Videos? Kind of that music in between
Yeah.
the shots.
Wow, I hadn't thought about that one.
yeah, it really is.
All right. I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but I do have one question that I always ask everybody. I get some good answers. I get some weird answers. When you guys have been touring, what is one of the craziest, most outlandish, oh my God, I cannot believe that happened? It could be you guys. It could be something a fan did. You're like, what in God's name? What? And I've got a laugh back there. We got somebody coming up to tell a story. Yes.
The Victorian house.
Wait. I have one of us to say it?
We have to have you because you were an integral part of this.
Yeah. No, we stayed at
Don't say their name, but
Right,
a promoter or friend's
a
house.
promoter's. Thank you. A promoter or friend's house in a certain state is.
You will never
No,
say
it's it was down
Northeast.
We were at their family's boathouse, and it was really nice, but also really creepy. It looked like there's like shit in there that hadn't been touched in like 30 years, and like the stairwell.
Old landline phones that were covered in
There
dust.
was
also like modern stuff too.
There was
Like
like mixed with modern stuff, but there was like bedrooms with like the most dated bedding you've ever seen. It looked cursed.
And it was like
in
there were rooms that didn't make any sense.
It wasn't in a place or time. It was very
It was really weird, and it was just like it was so dark and creepy in there. And we all got high and were playing Mario Kart, and then Brandon and Guillermo decided to break away and start messing with us, and all of a sudden it was like, where's Brandon? And then spooky things started happening around the house, and I start freaking out a little bit, like, dude, Brandon's dead, and we're like, Jessica and I are basically Shaggy and Scooby-Doo, and everyone else is trying to figure out what's happening.
We kept hearing noises. No, it was me and Curly. Was it me and Curly? No, it was
No. Curly was
pissed.
pissed. Curly was pissed because he couldn't figure it out, but he knew it was dumb. He's like, this is pissing me off.
I knew that y'all were fucking with
Yeah,
me.
like, someone's fucking with me, but I can't find them.
Curly was scaring us, and we held on to each other like we were in like a.
Yeah, no, it was like we were Shaggy and
Like a
Scooby-Doo, literally.
There was one point where Curly's at like the window of the kitchen, like looking down, and I'm standing perfectly outside, just staring straight at him.
Yeah.
As soon as I see his head rise, sure enough, I was
You
like,
rude.
No, but Brandon was and Guillermo were pulling the strings the whole time.
well, we
doing
had
a
our
really
own
good job.
strings going on.
I know, y'all had your own quests.
And then the guy that almost shot you down.
Yeah, but then
That was the craziest part about it.
Because Brandon's on the outside of the house, like doing things to scare us, and we're like in this weird, quiet area, and the neighbor was like, "Who is this?"
See
fucking
somebody creeping around.
I was coming back in the house, and suddenly out from the shadows, I just hear, "Hey!"
Yeah.
And this guy is just like so pissed at me. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm going back in the house. Like, you're not coming in my house. I'm like, no, I'm not. And then out of nowhere, I finally hear another voice in the house. Hey, hi, sorry, that was me. And it was Brandon.
And all of a sudden, Brandon's alive.
Brandon's just like, okay, game over. I don't want to get shot either.
But so like down to the bottom of the story, it was a very creepy house. Very unsettling. The energy was just off.
We were messing with each other, and they thought we were robbing the place.
Well, it was just really funny the way Brandon led us to believe that he was missing, because like all of a sudden like he was there and all of a sudden he was missing and his phone was left behind. So it just seemed so ominous.
He
and
had found
weird.
like such perfect little hidey holes.
Yeah, and he just started freaking us out. I can't remember what he was
like
doing.
tapping on walls.
Yeah, he was like tapping on walls and like, I don't know. But my favorite part was Curly being pissed because he couldn't figure it out. But you're like,
well, I get scared fucking hella easy. So like, like literally Guillermo today or last night, just standing in the corner, and I was just like, ah! Like literally, it's fucking 1 o'clock at night, and I'm like trying to be quiet so they can sleep.
He's not sleeping. He's standing in the corner. That's what he does.
I wasn't even hiding. I was just like, where have you?
Friends watch, friends sleep.
Even if they don't know they're being watched.
Yeah.
I don't feel very comfortable in this room anymore.
What a way to finish it off.
Real quick, and I think I know the answer, and I just want to make it sure, especially since you had mentioned Mario. Where'd you get your name from? Okay, thank you.
Super Mario 3,
Thank you.
But it's the Raccoon Mario and not the Tanuki suit.
Exactly, thank you.
Which is the common misnomer.
To this day, people will like go up to us and be like, "Oh, the Tanuki suit," and we've like gone on the record on like different interviews and live streams. Like
the different power.
They'll have like a picture of the box art. I have like a Perler thing of the actual sprite. It's just the tail. It's just the ears.
Yeah,
that's it. Some people are like the whole full fur body thing. We're like, no.
Which I know like some people might not like it, but it is us. Like I know a couple people have been like very like in a friend to friend sort of way, been like, you could probably change that name and do a little better. But I'm like, it's still us. We were talking today about the Switch 2 probably having the next 3D like Mario come out. It's still like we couch just like hang out and play video games. Like
you can't see this interview, but there's a Switch. There's a Switch. Like
there's a Switch in there.
We're fucking goobers, man. It's fine.
Yeah, it is us, and then the name won't reflect the music, but it might.
It very much reflects the people.
Yeah.
I think the name reflects the music.
Well, hell yeah. Then it reflects the music.
I mean, we've done like Mario Kart covers and Final Fantasy covers, and just so even with that, we get like our little stuff in there.
That's what we come from.
Well, Flying Raccoon Suit, thank you very much for sitting down and spending the time chatting with me. I did enjoy it, even though I'm a little kind of panicked right now. I want to get the hell out of this room. No, I'm kidding. I don't. I know we're having a good time. But thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you.